You can add a watermark to an image pretty easily in Photoshop, but what do you do if you need a whole batch of images that need to be watermarked? Is there a better way? Well, there is. It's Lightroom, and I'm going to show you how you can set up a watermark as part of an export preset. Let's take a look. Hi, I'm Charlotte Reeves from Unleashed Education, and in these editing toolbox videos, we share one quick tip, trick, or technique to help you improve your pet photography editing. So this week we're going to talk about watermarks. Now, it's pretty easy to just drag a watermark file onto your image in Photoshop and save it. That's an easy way to add a watermark. But what if you have, say, a whole batch of images that need to be watermarked? It's a pretty tedious process to do it one by one in Photoshop. So the better way is to use Lightroom, and specifically to set up a watermark preset within an export preset. So let's take a look at this here. So I've got a whole set of images here, and they all need to be watermarked and saved at web resolution for sharing on Facebook. So I already have an export preset set up for that. To go to the export preset, you just need to press Shift-Command-E. For this one, we're going to go to my Facebook share. And this actually saves the image in a folder called Social. I choose which folder it needs to be saved within. I don't rename files. I save it as 100 quality JPEG, sRGB, and I resize it so that the long edge is 2048 pixels at 72 dpi. But what we're really interested here is watermarking. So I already have watermarks set up, but we're going to go through and set up a brand new watermark. So what you need before setting up a watermark is obviously the watermark. So let's take a look at what kind of file this needs to be. So this is my watermark file. It's actually my logo, and it's basically just being converted to white. Now, the checkered background you see, that's actually transparency. So there's actually nothing sitting underneath that white text and graphics. It's just totally transparent. I have mine pretty big. It's over 2000 pixels wide. You want to have it at a reasonable size, because if you're putting it on a larger image for whatever reason, it's going to look kind of pixelated if you don't have it at a decent size. This image is saved as a PNG file, and this allows the image to have transparency. If you have your logo in JPEG format, you're not going to see any sort of transparency. It's basically just going to be a block or a square with your logo on it that's going to sit on top of the image. You won't be able to see through the letters and the gaps in the logo to the image underneath. So I highly recommend having a version of your logo that has a transparent background that is white, so it goes with everything, that you can use as your watermark. So that's what the file looks like. So we'll jump back over to Lightroom. So to add that PNG as a watermark, you just need to go into watermarking here. It needs to be ticked. And you're not going to have this big list of watermarks here. You're just going to have, I think, simple copyright watermark. So if you just select that and go edit watermarks, it'll start from that point. So first of all, you don't want a text watermark because you've got that lovely graphic to use. Hopefully your logo that's got transparency. So we need to select graphic, and then we need to go where the graphic is and choose it. We don't need text options opened up. That's only if you're using text as your watermark, which you can do if you don't have a logo or a graphic that you want to use. Now, under watermark effects, I like to have the watermark slightly transparent. So I usually take the opacity down. You might want to take it down to like 70% or so. Now, it's giving you a little preview. You can see it in the corner here, and you can actually physically grab that and resize it. Or you can just move the slider here to resize it. So you want it to take up probably about that much room in the corner. So we've got the position at the bottom left here. We've got the size about right. Now that's going to be proportional to the image. So if you've got a really small image, it'll make the logo smaller, and then vice versa. If it's a really large image, it will make the logo larger. That's why it's a good idea to have the logo in a pretty decent sort of size and resolution. So you can also inset the logo a little bit. I don't really like it jammed right in the corner there. So I'm actually just going to come in a little bit on the left and then come up a little bit from the bottom. If you just click outside there, maybe come down a little bit more. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good position there. Now you're going to need to save this once you've got it how you want it. So we'll just need to go into Save Current Settings as a new preset. Charlotte Reeves, Photography, bottom left, and then go create, and there is your watermark saved as a preset, so we can just go done. So now if you've already got an export for Facebook preset set up, you can just right click on that and go update with current settings if it's something that you're adding to an export preset, or you can actually copy these settings that I've got here and create your own export preset. So you'll have a preset that you can use when you're sharing images on Facebook that have your logo on them. So we just need to go export. And I've just opened this image up in Photoshop, and there it is. So it's 2048 pixels wide, and it's got my little logo in the corner there, and it's got a little bit of transparency, and it's a pretty good size. So I'm pretty happy with that. So let's just hop back to Lightroom. So say you've got an image where a bottom left logo isn't going to work very well. So for example, this one here, if we were to put the watermark at the bottom left, it's going to sort of interfere with the way the image looks. So I'd probably rather put it at the top left for this one. So you'll just need to set up a different watermark preset for each position that you want to be able to save the logo in. So if you go into the export dialog box again, and we go into watermark, go edit watermarks, and see how it doesn't look really great at the bottom left there. Instead, I'm going to anchor it to the top left. It's a much better place for it. Now it'll say that that preset has been edited. So to save a version with the position there, we just need to go save as a new preset. And this will be Charlotte Reeves Photography top left, and then create, and then go done. So now, depending on the image, we can go Charlotte Reeves Photography bottom left or top left, depending on what we want to do. So what I usually do when I'm exporting a whole gallery full of images is I will select all of them. So I just pressed Command A to select all of them there. I'll go export, or I'll just look through the images and pick a position that's going to suit most of them. So for these ones, I'm thinking probably bottom left will work. It's going to export all of those images with the watermark at the bottom left. I'll then need to go through, and any images where it's not going to suit the bottom left, so for example, this one here that we already found, I'll just go into that preset and I'll go top left instead. So I found that's the quickest and easiest way to add a watermark to a batch of images from Lightroom using a preset. You do need to put a little bit of preparation going in there and creating a different watermark preset for each position that you might want to have your watermark in the image. But it's definitely worthwhile, and it's certainly a lot quicker than trying to do it one by one in Photoshop. Thanks for watching. I hope that's been helpful. If you've got any questions, just drop them in the comments, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks for another editing toolbox video. See you later.